Hello everybody, thank you for stopping in tonight for the usual dev stream. Go ahead and get the usual stuff, get the stuff set up. Go, ready, you. And today we've got just a normal webcam. We don't get the Game Boy camera on. I know, crazy concept, but I think I like the Game Boy cam, but I want to try the regular camera. Whatever, people probably don't care. Anyways. How is everybody doing tonight? You're doing well. Let me close out of you. We're gonna see if we have the blinking issues. I might have fixed it. If not, then I've got an alternative solution that'll definitely work, but it's kind of janky. Anyways, let's get the music set up real quick. That was loud. Need a second to balance it. There we go. Yeah, it should be good. Anyways, how's everyone doing? We got Mr. Jonas, Anstrar, Ethan, Levy, Anstrar, Racer Paste. How is everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. Oh, something to show you guys. You can see right here. It's kind of dark in here because the webcam doesn't really work that well when it's even mildly bright. Like my light there just blows out the sensor entirely. So it's a little dim. So it's hard to see. But we do got the first print of the Void Collector shirt. It has a couple of contrast issues, like some colors blur together a little bit, so I might have to get it reprinted, but things are moving. You can look forward to getting these relatively soon for hopefully decent prices. And, fast shipping, from my experience. Okay, but what's more interesting than shirts is gaming. So let's go to, Slalom 1. Broke your sewing machine stupid style. Sorry to hear that, Eraser. Okay, so if you'll recall last time, we did some polishing up on this level here, the first level of the next world. And then we started working on this stage, which was the second level of the new world. And I'll give a little bit of run through about how this one went, just so we can sort of discuss some of what I'm about to say next. But you start up by shooting this guy, you go through here, and then you see this happen. Oh no, now the Gunther's gotten possessed. Now he's all big and durable. So you go through there, fight him. And then the rest of the stage is sort of this series of going down these slopes, and then entering other levels. Entering other small buildings, rather. And then in this building, we get introduced to the next Voltaic enemy, being Steve Supernova, who's basically just a supercharged Steve who shoots quite a lot faster, and explosions go a lot faster, all that. And then we have the next room, which is like this big cafeteria area. Seems like this guy keeps getting stuck. Die. There we go. Got there's a keyboard in here. And then you go upstairs, and you gotta deal with the ghosts, while dealing with one of each of the Voltaic guys. Whoop. Oh shit. Both of them have found me. Oh god. Yeah, this room is a little bit of a mess right now. And then you would head on down here to the end of the stage. Ah, you son of a bitch, you blocked me. Take care of these two. And then that would be the level. Now, it looks sick, thank you. Is the shirt nutritional? Finally here looks cool, thank you, Random Trout. You probably shouldn't eat it. Probably not. Can't say. Well, thanks for stopping in anyways, Crystal Sword. But I think there are some good things about this level, but ultimately I think this stage is going to need like a pretty much complete like restructuring. I don't think it really works that well where it is now. Some things are kind of cool. Like I like the intro bit a lot, but I think that it kind of it gets a bit of momentum and then kind of just stops. Like it builds up a little bit, introducing the two guys, and then it kind of throws everything all at you all at once. So instead of having to deal with both of the Voltaic guys at the same time, and then dealing with like both the ghosts at the same time, and then combining it all together, it kind of just everything just kind of starts happening at the same time. And it sort of feels a bit inconsistent because the ghosts have only been shown to come out of paintings in the previous stage, and this guy has only been shown through windows and stuff. and you have to like stop the ghost, and there's no even way to stop the ghost up here. These enemies are just out. So it kind of feels like it betrays the vision of what the level is supposed to be, fairly consistently. Get out of my way, you son of a bitch. Oh, I missed. That's a bad whiff. And it kind of just feels a little bit obnoxious. So I think that this level is going to need a pretty big change up. It's just not super functional as it is now. It doesn't really work in terms of giving like a balanced, well-structured experience. It just kind of feels like it doesn't quite succeed at that. Especially the slopes. Like the slopes are supposed to be a cool thing where you go down and whatever, but they kind of just feel more like a hindrance. Like there's not really a good reason to actually use the slopes because they're just kind of slow. So it's faster just to dash directly at it and then slide straight down anyways. So the slopes kind of end up being underutilized and feel unnecessary while making the stage harder to navigate for no real tangible benefit. So I'm probably going to rework this to be one like larger building, kind of similar to the first stage, but maybe more sections where you run indoor and outdoor. Probably eschewing the slopes entirely, but making it a little bit longer to have more sections where you have to deal with both of these guys individually, and having more time to spend with the ghosts and see what they do before I ramp everything up too much. So this level is probably not going to stick around in this form for too much longer, just to be aware. Next Patreon build, edible cells. Put juice on the slopes. That certainly could help, but I think the more fundamental problem is that slope sliding is just kind of not as fun as I thought it would be. And ultimately, I'm more concerned if it's fun or not. Right now, this level has fun parts, but it does not come together to a cohesive or fun feeling whole. And maybe there's a way I can make the slopes work. I'm thinking that I might save the slope idea for the big level, for not the big level, the mini arena like challenge level, because I think there's still something I could do with that, but I don't know if it really works as like the basis for a regular level, because there's kind of an inherent need to backtrack a bit in the regular levels, in case you miss a cell or something. So stages need to be like fully traversable, and trying to make it so that way you can re-access any other part of the level just kind of harshes it, and it also doesn't have a ton of great interesting like skip potential either. And for a second level, I want there to be a bit more fluidity. Like the first stage, I think, is good to be a bit more linear, straightforward application of the mechanics, whereas other stages can afford to be a bit more interesting and experimental. But I think as it stands right now, this level is just not particularly successful at what it's trying to do. It's not unfun, but it could be a lot better. Are cuboids edible? One of them was standing on a table. I mean, humans are edible, but they're not like eatable. You know, like you could eat them, but you like shouldn't do that. So in that manner of speaking, yes, sure. Okay, so we're gonna start by doing a bit of polish on this stage here on the first level, because the upcoming Patreon build is going to be pretty revolved around this new stage and then adding in some stuff to the other levels. So let's go to textures. No, props. Yeah, props. I've got this guy right here. Got a snowy tree sprite. And I'm gonna start scattering a couple of these guys around here and there to make the level feel a little bit more alive. So it's masked, unlit sprite material. So that way it isn't affected by lighting. Get that nice even look that we're after here. Make an open world level where you interact with NPCs and grind to level up. I do have a lot of ideas for like extremely experimental, like really, really out there levels that I think would be really fun. Probably not going to do a ton of them in this project because I think it's important that I get a lot of my game design fundies down first, and I think a lot of those I'm still sort of getting my feet wet with them, you know. But I'd love for future projects to make levels that are just super, super out there conceptually. Like, something like that would be kind of fun. Like, it's like a small scale thing, you know, but things that would go way, way far outside of your expectation of convention. You know, once I learned how to code that sort of thing anyways. So now we're just setting up a couple of trees here and there, just to make the place feel a little bit more lively. We are going to need a couple extra sprites left to draw. Like in here, I've still got an idea to replace. Originally there was a cuboid in here, but that ended up being really unfun to deal with, so that got scrapped. Let's see. There's a couple other doodads here and there. Like I still need to draw a fire for a fireplace. I need to draw some sprites for the next level, but for this level, most of the sprites are done. I just need maybe like a couple extra paintings and like small props here and there that don't necessarily need to be done super soon, but will need to be done at some point. You know, little bits and pieces to liven it up. And now it feels a little more, I don't know, natural. Gunther dating sim next. Gunther dating sim win. Okay, so there's a lot of excitement for a Gunther dating sim. That is like a bit of an indie trend, isn't it? Like, if you guys know Rivals of Aether, very fun like platform fighter. That had a dating sim. I guess there's probably more examples that I can't think of. Like I know there's the KFC dating sim, which is real. Maybe if I learn how to write. I know how to write, just not great. That'll be something that I'm gonna practice a lot in my next upcoming projects, though, is writing and plot development and that sort of thing. And I think I hate to disappoint, but I don't think I have a ton of interest in making a dating sim. Which I'm sure somebody in chat was joking, but I think some people would probably actually want to see that. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna keep decorating this place up, put some trees down, and another thing I'm gonna want to do is go through the stage a couple times just to see how it feels, if it feels like it needs some changes, some tweaking here and there, that sort of thing. And I do have some changes I want to make to some of the enemies as well. So that could be pretty fun. So one really nice thing about Void Collector as a project, it still has a certain amount of performance cost on your computer because it's made in Unreal. So I know a lot of people in the audience can't run it because it's Unreal. There is a certain amount of power that is not optional. But thing is with the art style I've gone with is that a lot of areas you can put down a lot of detail, like a lot of different details, without really having much of an impact on performance because these are all just 2D sprites, and they're not lit. They're just sprites being rendered in 3D space, so it's pretty darn cheap to render. At least I assume. In my testing, I've put down a bunch of sprites into places, and it doesn't seem to have much of a cost, but, you know, we'll do more testing. I think one thing I am a little concerned about causing performance increases is the snow, so I'm probably going to need to make it toggleable in the final release to enable or disable snow, maybe just all particles. Just because they do tend to cause some pretty bad performance differences, or performance impacts, on some lower end machines in particular. Like the ones that can run it but don't run it great. For those kinds of people, I imagine it'd be quite nice to be able to turn off particles and stuff. Although they do communicate quite a bit, so I imagine you would be at a little bit of a gameplay deficit if you had to turn those off. But I like this. I think this adds a little bit of extra character to it. Don't run with that as being stupid. No, I'm not running with it. Don't worry. One of the devs in a game I'm working on wants to make a visual novel based on the game. Probably due to the fact that development is stalled. A lot of ideas are definitely born from other things not working. Where's the fat yellow ghost? I thought you were asking if there was one. No. Yeah, no, you're just asking if there will be one. The ghost will probably all be gray. Just because it helps distinguish them more easily. Okay. Let's go ahead and set this to default player start, and let's run through the level a couple of times. I still need to fix the door bug, actually. That might be something we wanna chip away at today. Whoa! Oh, you got launched off by a bomb, didn't you? Okay. I just feel like I'm so bad at dealing with bouncers. I can just never. Some days I'm fine, but some days I just cannot hit him for the life of me. Yeah, I like that. I think that adds a bit of personality. That actually looks quite nice. I like that. Okay, and then go in here. Loop our way through here. Go up here. Then we gotta do this section. And you know what? I think while we're here, something to do today might be to figure out how to get our new system with Sever working. Let me just... Haha, can't get me. I think she ran off the edge, actually. Interesting. Hello, Enceladus. Oh, okay, you're asking about Luigi. Luigi's Mansione, or referencing Luigi's Mansione. Okay, so one thing I want to try, I want to make the ghosts a little bit more interesting to work with, because right now they kind of just charge at you, and they feel a little bit too similar to how a lot of the other enemies work. So in case you need a little bit of a recap, let me go ahead and explain how Bobbert here works. So let's go ahead and just, where's the trigger? Here we go. We want him to always do this for now. So this way, yeah, so we'll be able to test. So what he does right now is very simple. He runs at you, and if he hits you, then you explode, you take damage, he gets dizzy for a couple of seconds, and then recharges and starts running at you again. Basically, just if you take damage, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. And that is something that I think is nice and sets him apart a little bit, but I feel like we could lean into this whole bomb mouth gimmick a little bit more. So I'm thinking that we put a hurt box around like the top of his head, around the bomb, and if you shoot at it, then it'll instantly make him go into that dizzy state, so that way you have something a little bit more interesting. It sets him apart and makes his interactions more interesting, and gives you more of an active reason to shoot at him too. So I think that that'll be pretty cool. So let's give that a try. Let's add a collision sphere. Go. And now the first trick is going to be figuring out how to actually detect... let's not even do a sphere. Let's get a box in. Let's get a collision box. Nope. Box collision, not collision box. There we go. So let's set this up right around the front of his head. There we go. Can we set that to visible? Visible, what if I say visible in scene capture? Nope, okay, never mind. Okay, let's pull this out forwards a little bit more. And I think we can afford to be kind of generous with this. This guy moves pretty fast, so I don't want to force players to need to be too precise to actually hit it, so that'll be fine. Okay, so now the trick is going to be, how do we detect that this box has been shot? We've got on component hit, and this is something solid, so that doesn't work for our needs. Begin, overlap, yada yada, and then a bunch of other stuff that is not particularly relevant to us. So the question is, how do we determine if the line trace hits this box right here? And that's the trick. I don't know. I actually am not sure how to do this. I started talking about doing this before I figured out a way to do this. So let's do a little bit of real-time experimentation and discovery, why don't we? Is that too loud? No, it looks like it's fine on my end. Okay. Okay, so we've got our box here, and the easiest thing to do would be to see if this box takes any damage, but that's not something we can really do. So let's see if this activates it. It seems like it does hit that box. You know what, let's make it easier to tell. Let's move the box right above his head first. So if we shoot above it, we should see... If we shoot right above it, yeah, we can see that the box is right there. So we are able to detect it and shoot it, which is good. That's what we want. Yeah, because it's getting blocked by bullets, which is what our line traces are on. It's on that collision section. So let's try, not begin overlap. Let's do component hit and see if that triggers first. And we'll call this shoot bomb. Shoot bomb. Slapbert. Makes him more like an X-Bot. Yeah, he's more intelligent. How many slap modes are in the game? Decent amount. Gotta go, sorry, it's sleep time. Well, thanks for stopping in, Ethan. Appreciate it. It'd be cool for one of the enemies to have an attack pattern of aim, charge. Yeah, that could be interesting. Don't have anything quite like that at the moment. Maybe especially if like they lunge at you. Long day in the garden. Well, thanks for stopping in. Hope you get some well-deserved rest. Okay, so let's try on component hit. And let's make sure it's the right one. Yep. And if it gets hit, then let's print string that says Yahoo. Just so we can make sure that it works. Okay, so we shoot it. We're not getting the Yahoo. That is going to be a problem. So even though we're shooting the Yahoo, it is not triggering. So it doesn't work on a component hit, which is good to know. Let's just make it really tall, just to make sure we are absolutely dead certain that this is what we're going to be hitting. Let's try begin overlap. So let's hook that up to a print string. Just have that one say hello. Anything too complicated? So that's also not working. Because I guess it's not really getting overlapped, is it? So how do we determine specifically which box is getting hit by our line trace? That is the question. So let's look at how our line traces work and see if we can't come up with something. So, in short, a line trace is fairly simple. It looks kind of complicated, but it's not that bad, I promise. So what this does is it'll basically get the location and rotation of where we're facing, and then multiply it by a distance number. So plug in the location and rotation together, essentially, to get one straight line calculation. See where that line's going to end up and what length it should be. And then what we can do is see if that collides with anything. And if it does collide with something, then we'll run whatever XYZ code that we need to run. Now the problem is how do we determine that on Bobbert here? Because clearly it's shooting him and it's hitting him. It's getting recognized as getting hit, which is good, but the problem is we need a way to differentiate that just this component is the one getting shot. And that's the part I'm not actually too sure about how we could do it. Let's see, if all dynamic. What if we set it to block all dynamic? No, still nothing. Interesting. Yeah, I'm actually not sure about how to do this. I probably should have brainstormed something before stream started, shouldn't I? Oh, I unhooked those. Let's set the hit and begin overlap back. And we'll just run this to see if either part happens. Nope, still nothing. Bah. That is interesting. That's a tricky little challenge we've got here, don't we? What if we set a new capsule collision? Although capsule collision is the same as the other ones, right? No, it is not. Why is it separate? Weird. Can we say, like, on something, on a specific thing, take damage, maybe? On take damage. Yeah, okay, so that only works for this. Okay. Okay. Well, never mind. Okay. Cool idea. I'll come back to that one a little bit later, because I think that'll have to be one that I do a little bit of forum scavenging for, and I don't want to force you guys to sit here and watch me scavenge forums. So let's try something a little bit more interesting, I think. We've got our other ghost, Sever, here. So let's put her down there. And do the same thing we did last time, so we can make sure that she's always showing up even when she's not in ghost mode. So my idea to make her a little bit more interesting, someone suggested it on the Patreon, and I thought it was a pretty interesting idea. Because right now, she's kind of interesting, where she runs at you and gets faster and faster. She's got really slow acceleration, but she's got a very high max speed. So, basically, you can just shoot her to prevent her from getting too fast, but if you don't take care of her, then she'll just get faster and faster and faster. Kind of fun, but mostly just annoying, especially when dealing with other enemies. So what I'm thinking is that we'll have a Weeping Angel sort of system, and I'm not sure exactly what form that's going to take. My current thought was that she would move slowly at all times, and if you're looking at her, then it would prevent her from like doing anything crazy, and if you stop looking at her, then she like teleports directly behind you. That's something that I was potential idea that I think could be pretty fun. Now the question is, how do we determine if we are looking at her? And that's a tricky question. That is a real tricky one. And that could be done through rotation, because her rotation is always getting adjusted, our rotation is always getting adjusted. We could try to see if there's a similarity between those two, if maybe there's if they are inverted within each other. Now the only problem I can see with that is it might get a little confused. Although if we get like an angle differential, you know what? Let's try something. Am I using event tick yet? No, I'm not gonna use event. I'm not using event tick. Let's use that for the teleport stuff. Oh, I am using event tick. Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. Okay, so let's put a custom event down, and we're gonna call this site check, and we're gonna say in site as a boolean, and that's going to be false by default. And then on event tick, we're going to do site check. Having a teleport behind you might not be good because it guarantees she would damage you upon leaving your line of sight. Oh yeah, I forgot. No. I said that wrong. She would teleport directly in front of you if you stop looking at her. So she could sort of take you by surprise by appearing right in front of you a short distance. So if you're trying to like move forwards and stop looking at her, then you might run into her, that sort of thing. But that might also not work if you're trying to back up from her, because then she could always just. We'll see. We're gonna do some testing. This is very much in the experimental phase for sure. So let's start by let's get angle. It's as first-person character. Let's get character rotation, or get rotation. Let's get the world rotation of the capsule component specifically, and then let's get world rotation of our own capsule component, and let's subtract one of those by another. Oh, let me subtract. Let me hook it in like that. Okay, that's weird. Why is it not letting me just... Oh, right. We don't need the full rotation. We only need the... I believe it should be the pitch is all we need, or the... No. The Z. The yaw is what we're looking for. Okay. So we'll subtract... Was it silhouette? I am a silhouette. Why is it so dim in here? Yeah, it is... Camera is really dark. Okay, you know what? We're going back to the Game Boy camera next time. All right, so we're going to subtract the two yaws from each other, and we're going to print string, and then hook it up like so. So basically, we're just going to want to see what the rotation is. You know what? I should really have done this from the start. Let's go to the slalom test level. Yeah, because here we can just test it in peace without other things disturbing it. So it's 170, 180. So if we're looking at her, it should always be around 180-ish. Yeah, it should always be somewhere in that range. So as long as it's within, let's say 240 and 120. So 240 and 120 is the range we can have where you're still considered as looking at her. Okay, so let's keep the print string for now, just in case we need to do some testing. And let's look up a less equal node and a greater equal node. And then we're gonna hook up 2 branches to these plugged into those. I'm actually not sure which one needs to be which. So if the angle is less than 120 and more than 240, then it should try to teleport. And we'll say warp. Maybe it could be reverse Weeping Angel, or if you look at her, she gets faster instead of vice versa. That's a pretty cool idea. I think in practice, though, it might be obnoxious trying to like look around to get where a bearing of your surroundings, and then she just zoops at you. Like I could see it being very easy to lose where she is, and then feeling kind of cheated when she's somewhere you didn't expect her to be, and then you die. Okay, so the warp part doesn't seem to be working. Maybe I had those inverted. I think I might just be dumb, maybe? Or 240, 120? I don't remember which one's greater and which one's less. Oh, okay, so it is warping, but not at the right times. Okay, so we also were seeing that some of the values are inverted. So I think it's if we... Yeah, okay. So let's try to make this value positive first. How do you take an... This is probably this is basic math stuff. I should know this. How do you take a negative number and then make it positive? Make positive. Because like you can get its distance to 0, and then use that as a value. So like instead of saying like, yeah, I could try something like that, because we need to get a consistent number that tells us the exact difference, and it should always be around 180 if we're looking directly at each other. Hey, I'm here on time for once. Thanks for joining, Just a Guy. Okay, I'm gonna double check to see if I'm stupid or not. How to always make a number positive. Let's see, is there like a math thing that's good for doing this? Never was good at math. That was always my worst subject. Let's see, what is ABS? Absolute? Is that what it is? So if we use this value instead, then I'm assuming that means we'll get the absolute value? That sounds familiar. That sounds about right. Okay, yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that, it works. Okay, cool. Multiply by negative? Well, yeah, multiply by negative doesn't work if it's positive, because then you get it also a negative. Math isn't real? No, it is not. Yeah, it is. I'm glad this was simple and it's just absolute value. I do feel kind of dumb sometimes when I just forget about like basic math things, but whatever. Okay, so the line of sight system is working, sort of. Problem is that we're getting the inverse of what we want. So this is returns true if A is less. Oh, okay. I think we want to hook the absolute into the bottom here of both of these. So if A is less than or equal to B. Okay, so if our value... So if, let's say 120... Back from eating dinner, what are you doing now? So right now, I'm working on a system where this thing will teleport to you if you stop looking at her. So we're doing some math shit and angles and stuff. It's exciting. Okay, so if our absolute number, if that is less, or if A is less, so if 120 is greater than, or is, okay, hold on. So if it's larger than 1, hold on. I'm losing myself in the weeds here. Okay, so if it's a, let's see, what's the hello is always printing. If it is higher, okay, so if it's higher than 120, and it's less than 240, then it'll say warp. I think that's what I'm trying to do. No, it still doesn't work. Okay. So, whoops. Whoops. Nope. What if I hook it up to both be false? How about that? Nope, that doesn't work either. Okay. What if one's true, one's false? I'm just trying a bunch of nonsense at this point. Nope. That don't work neither. Like, this should be this is relatively simple. All I'm trying to say is that if our number is less... Okay, let's just scrap all this. If this number is less equal, there we go. If this number is less equal to 120, so if this is less than 120, if that's true, and if this number is greater than 240, or greater equal, then it should teleport. Right? Okay, we're not getting the warp still. Okay, so let's say it's like right now, it's getting a value of around like 350, whatever. So why isn't that going through? Bring back the Game Boy cam? Probably will next time. I wanted to try the normal cam, but I think the Game Boy cam is kind of funnier. But I did want to show off the Void Collector shirt, and that doesn't really show up on the Game Boy cam. Is there like a between? Like between? No. In? Is it like a math term for like something that's simultaneously doing a greater equal and less equal check? Because I think the issue here is like, let's say we've got a value of 80, and 80 is less than 120, so it gets through, but 80 is not larger than 240, so it's also not getting through. So we only want to get values between these, but we're rejecting essentially every value, I think is what's happening. Let's try something a little different. Let's look up a sequence node. Can't really see the Void Collector shirt on normal webcam. Well, that's just because the lighting is getting more. You know what? Alright, there's the light orb. Okay, that actually doesn't look too bad. Now you can actually see me. Earlier it looked a little blown out, but now that it's gotten a little later in the day, kind of impossible to see otherwise. Okay, so let's run a sequence. Let's run 2 sequences. Needs to be false, false. Think so? Because if it's, let's say it's 80. 80 is less than 120, and that's true, so it'll send it through, and then it would be less than 2, and then it would also be, it wouldn't be greater than 240, so it would return as false there. Maybe we try that. So if we do true, false, oh, maybe we need 2 separate sequences where one says true, false, and one says false, true. Maybe that's what it is. Because for this would work for a value of 80. Like right now we shouldn't be getting a warp, and then if we look to the right too much, then we get the warps. And if we look to the right here... Oh, wait. I think... No, it just works. Okay. Hey, look at that. Look at that. We're so smart. Ho! I'm super smart. I didn't totally just spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out a simple true-false system. Okay. But now that this works, now that this is functional, we can go ahead and get rid of this print string. Not gonna need that. Not gonna need that anymore. And now we need to write a system that'll actually do the warp. First, I think we're gonna need to adjust her base movement a little bit. So let's set the acceleration to something like 5,000, just so she moves a lot faster. Well, accelerates a lot faster, and then set her walk speed to something like 1,000, maybe? I keep forgetting that it spawns me there. Yeah, so she moves, you know, threatening-ish, but not super dangerous. Now, we've got two different options here. And the complicated option is to do the teleport, and the easy option is to just make her move faster. And the more I think about it, the more that I think that probably just having her move faster would probably work better. Let's try it. Let's try this, see how it goes. So if this is false, let's grab character movement. Let's set walk, congrats, yay. Thank you for my, thank you for all the celebration of my incredible mathematics achievements. Okay, set max walk speed, and if that is false, so if they're going to see teleport result in almost guaranteed damage from a cheap hit? Not necessarily. I mean, that's how the conductor works, where they teleport something in front of you. And I would say that one's a pretty good balance if not feeling very cheap, because you have plenty of time to react to it, and you can counteract it by looking in different directions and stuff. So I wouldn't say so. Especially since they would teleport in front of you. If they teleported behind you, then yes, that would certainly feel cheap, but if they teleport directly where you can see them, with enough distance, enough speed, to the point where it is predictable, then it works. I think the greater problem, though, and the reason I'm leaning towards the walk speed solution instead, is just that teleporting in the teleport system with, like, doing a line trace is really buggy and can result in a lot of jank, so this would be a lot more consistent and reliable, because I feel like even if I do a bunch of bug fixing and bug checking, the teleport system would have a lot of problems. Like, let me lay out one of the potential issues with the teleport. So if I'm looking, like, right here, for instance, and she teleports, if the line is too long, like if the distance she needs to teleport is too big... Oh, okay, well, she's going a little too fast there. Let's go in here. So let's say she's chasing me, and she would teleport right in front of me, and I'm standing right here. The line could just go straight through the wall and then teleport her out into the abyss, and that doesn't work. So what we could do is instead also do a check to see if the line hits anything, and if the line hits something, say this wall right here, then she would teleport here instead. That also brings up a problem, though, where if she teleports right here, then she would be right in your face, and then you would take damage and get hit, and it would be really obnoxious. And there's not really a way to get around that one. Like, no matter what, if she's either going to have to go out of bounds or teleport right here, so if you're near a wall at all, and when she teleports, you'd get hit, or she teleport much closer to where she should be. So, now that I'm thinking about it, that would probably not work for this world much at all, because if she sees you and tries to teleport, then it really wouldn't work very well. Yeah, no, it wouldn't, because this is a pretty cramped area, so there'd be a lot of easy ways to accidentally get a cramped solution where she gets stuck somewhere, or she follows you somewhere she shouldn't, and especially indoors, because it's cramped. So I think the speed is probably going to be our solution, actually. Yeah. The more I'm talking about that aloud, the less of a good idea I think it is. Holy shit! Does she slow down? No, she doesn't. She doesn't slow down. She does not slow down. I said it to 1,000, didn't I? Not 10,000. 1,000. Why is she going so fast? Let's do some print strings. Say slow. Speedy. You can make her go through walls. I could do that, but that also raises the issue of potentially being really annoying. Like, let's say that you're right here and you're doing some stuff and she still sees you and she's still chasing you, and then she just, like, phases through the wall while you're fighting some... Like, let's say you're fighting dudes right here looking this way, and then she just teleports to your location. That wouldn't be very fun. Like, she hits you through the wall while you're looking away. Yeah, I don't know. I see more ways that would go wrong than it would go right. Okay, so for some reason, her speed is not getting adequately reset. So that this condition is not getting called, is what's happening. So if we look away, we'll see speedy, 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 speedy. But slow is never getting called. What if we hook up a slow here? Maybe she goes through walls slowly and loudly. I mean, I guess I could, like, maybe some sort of a trigger if she interacts with a wall. But that, I don't, see, the problem is there's so many things you'd have to do to make that work. I feel like if there's so many things you'd have to add to it to make it function, it's probably worth just doing the simpler option than trying to do all the extra effort to make it work. Whoa, shit. I think this could work pretty well, though. This is a good solution. Let me clean up the sprites a little bit here. I don't know why I have the surfboard open. Actually, we can go ahead and let's open the code for Sever one more time. Let's get rid of those, because we know that works now. I probably will still have like some sort of a sound cue when you're not looking at her to indicate that you are truly in danger. And I think that'll work pretty good. And you know what? We can put the sight check after the true here. No need to constantly be changing her speed and stuff whenever she's not actually being used. And it goes to randomly jump scares you. A lot of people want to see more horror elements. I don't know if I want to lean too far into actually being spooky, but I think jump scares can kind of just come across as obnoxious. Like, even joke jump scares can just be kind of annoying, like more than they are funny. So I think I get like one. I think you get one before it starts getting pretty old. Oh, that wasn't even an enemy. I just shot him for no reason. Wait, he came back to life. He's alive. Oh, because it's ghost mode. I didn't even think about that. That's a bug I'll have to fix. I guess maybe have to is a strong word, but should fix. Ow. Meow. Oh shit, man, she goes fast. Oh, she got stuck. She got stuck. Yes. Oh. Oh god. Get in the portal. Okay. She's actually pretty threatening. Give it one more try. I might need to adjust some stuff, like add some rubble and debris and whatever to make sure that she doesn't get stuck on couches. Cardboard cutout jump scare. Who's the guy with the teeth? That's the bobbert. Some point in the level display message that says something this way comes, but nothing shows up. Okay, well I can't just rip off Ultra Kill, guys. I don't know if Bouncer looks too serious up close, so I think he looks fairly normal. He's got a grin. Maybe just because the grin switches sides. So I still need to figure out how to do the bobbert change. That one's gonna be interesting. Figuring out how to make it so he can shoot his bomb. I think right now, as is, he works fine enough, but he could really use that extra little I don't know, je ne sais quoi. Jesus, she's so fast. I'll have to have some sort of like a creepy sound or something that plays when she's moving to alert you that it's happening. Jesus, she's so fast. You really got to keep an eye on her at all times. That's actually pretty good. I think it does. It's not scary, but it has a good addition to the horror atmosphere. If theoretically Steve Strike never does the final attack, does he bleed out, or is the strike literally a suicide? I mean, he would die anyways. He just decides to go out like a cool guy. The guy with the open mouth and teeth in the painting is Bobbert. I thought Bobbert was the guy in the painting in the first area with the bomb. Well, both are. It's Bobbert, yeah. This is what he looks like normally, as when he's alive. And that's Sever. That's her painting. And then you go through here, and then the paintings shift. Now they're this one. Yeah, this is what they looked like when they were alive versus as ghosts. I wonder if it's possible to shove Steve out that window. Probably not, right? You could hit him with a bomb and have him like run out. That could definitely work. I could see that working. You could also do this to skip up to the final section. I don't know how good of a strat that is, but you could do it. Maybe it'd be faster. I wonder. Probably not, because you'd have to go up and around. But you could do it. A lot of concrete scraping noises. What when Sever's running at you? All right, let's give this level a couple more run-throughs and see if there's maybe any changes we should make to the enemy layouts. I think this works fairly well. Yeah, I think the major changes I want to make right now just relate mostly to Bobbert, which isn't really a problem. He's not a super active threat in this level, as is. He's kind of only in that one room, which I do think maybe I could tweak a little bit so that way Bobbert shows up. Maybe even Bobbert shows up here in this first area. Because right now, I don't think he really has a whole lot of presence in the level. And that's okay enough for the first stage of the world. We don't really need to go too crazy with it. Like, I don't really want to make the levels too long or overbearing or filled with too many set pieces or mechanics to the point where speedrunning it gets to be kind of a headache. But Sever, you actually get to do something with Sever. Like, she actually has like a tangible interaction and effect on the level, even when you're trying to do it fast. But problem is that with Bobbert is that he just doesn't have that same impact. Like, you can just do this and he's really not much of a problem. And I'm not sure exactly what to do with that. Okay, I think getting her stuck behind there is actually the strat. Okay, well, it would be the strat if I could hit my freaking shots. Okay, now you gotta probably unstick her here. Shit. Okay, I am not hitting my shots today, huh? I can't hit shit. Been like this for a little bit. I think maybe I'm just not used to this mouse still. Not this mouse, this layout of my keyboard and mouse, because I got a new keyboard. Oops. Okay, so let's what could we maybe do to make his interactions a little bit more interesting? Maybe like an obstacle that only shows up during ghost mode. Something that like blocks the door off a little bit, so you have to go around or something. Level so loopy, I love it. I think it's pretty cool the way it intersects on itself. Yeah, that's something I'm really happy with, and I want to integrate that more into the other stages, which is part of why I'm pretty much scrapping the second level as in its current state. You should make the level automatically exit ghost mode when all enemies die, so you can get through the exit safely. That's not a bad idea. That might be a nice little appreciated safety net. Quick question: how do the enemies becoming big versions work? There's a little ghost guy who only activates during ghost mode, and he will run up to the enemies. Bah, 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 bah. And if he collides with them, then they'll be turned into their big forms. And ideally, there'll be a lot of opportunities you'll have to prevent the enemies from going ghost mode. If you're fast enough, then you're able to prevent them from activating their voltaic forms at all. And I was thinking about that, because I think the voltaic forms are pretty fun to fight with how different they are, but they're kind of tied to the ghost mechanic, so they feel maybe a little limited in their current access. So I was thinking a potential idea to make them a little bit more interesting to work with could be something like, how would I put this? Jesus, she's aggressive. I might need to slow her down a little bit. Because if I'm having some difficulty, then that's probably not a great sign. Like maybe let's set her max, her default walk speed a little bit lower, and then give her a pretty decently sized nerf to her fast walk speed. Maybe even change her acceleration a little bit, so that way she doesn't instantly go up to it. Like maybe I think that 2500. See if that works. Will the ghost enemies ever be interactable / fightable in their alive forms? Most likely not, because they're already dead. Like this version of them they haven't been around for a while. Hey, Tim W. Loopy levels give you a lot of ways to approach the level. True. Make every world after this one have a unique enemy that turns enemies voltaic. Yeah, maybe it would just be better just to have the voltaic enemies show up. Or, I wonder. Because I think it's fun to do stuff like that, where things change on a world-by-world basis. But if you change too much stuff, then it gets kind of confusing. Like, if enemies all of a sudden start shifting around, like, if there's a different enemy for each world that does a similar function, then that can just get kind of confusing. Like, it might be like, wait, why does this enemy do this, but then this enemy does this? So it's like, oh, it's the same enemy, it's just a reskin of the same enemy. So that's the kind of thing I would want to avoid, but I like the thought. Oop, bounced on his head there. Get out of here. Alright. I think the level still needs a little bit of work here and there. Probably mainly that last room, I think still needs some tweaks and changes. It's already been an hour? How the heck did that happen? Okay. So let's just try this room over and over and see if we can't make it maybe feel a little bit more fun to interact with. So we know that we're going to be dealing with the handicap of this room is you're going to have to be fighting enemies that you can't see. So I think maybe the issue right now is that these enemies don't really work with that well. I think he does. I think Brainbuster here does. But I think we should try something other than just the pure projectile, fellas, and just see how this goes. If this works out well. Like, I think a Steve would be pretty well appreciated, because you can, move with one of them attacking you without too much difficulty. Let's see, maybe a bouncer, just because you'd want to be looking at the bouncer anyways to see where he is. So maybe that would help be a bit more. Maybe that would be a more intuitive way to learn how she works, because you're always looking at him. We keep the ghost enemy in each world. There are communities that cross over sometimes. Yeah. Imagine if Sever and Bobbert used to own the solemn slalom, the lodge. I don't have a. This might shock you guys, but I don't really have a whole lot of like lore figured out. It's not really my utmost concern. Let's just try these three for now, because we gotta remember this is the first level introducing this gimmick, so we don't need to be too aggressive with it. We can push this a lot further in the other stages. I think that kind of works. I think that works better anyways. One issue I do see is that you don't really get a chance to like keep looking at her when you enter the room, so you don't really know what threats you're dealing with right off the bat. So maybe that's why like Steve would work, because you don't have to be looking at him to realize that he's there. Same with Brainbuster, you get the big meter as a warning. Yeah, because that's something I think that we're gonna have to keep in mind with her. Because if there's an enemy you have to look at while you're dealing with other enemies, like maybe if she only showed up in this room, so you get to see the enemies first and then run away from them. But I think it's better that you get introduced to her in this room, get a chance to see how she works before you move on to here. That would probably work better. So like right now, I think that some of these guys work. Like I think that Steve and the Brainbuster work very well, because you get to know that they're there without having to see them. Yeah. Okay. I think that actually works pretty well. I think those three are a good like first challenge. It is certainly a bit easier than what it was before, but again, this is the first part of the world, so we don't need to do anything too crazy. Like that there isn't a lot of lore, because I can just make it up. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe you don't even really want to read the memorabilia, because then it'll give away the actual small amount of story details I've thought of. Hey, Ozzy, thanks for joining us. Probably just play all the ways you can approach this level to cover the possibilities. I mean, I definitely need to do some thorough like speedrunning stuff to see if I can break it and push it a little bit further. But there's not a whole lot else you can do other than play it in a fairly straightforward order. And the problem with playtesting is that I'm still stuck within my own perspective, right? So there's a lot of stuff that would probably be good to playtest that I wouldn't, but like I wouldn't even have thought of that being a thing that you would do, you know? So I do definitely need to do more playtesting, but at a certain point, you know, you hit a plateau where you need other people to give it a try to see what, you know, what needs fixing. Okay. So what else do we need to do here? Because if you go up here and you miss one of the miss an enemy, then you can go down here and then jump down into here to get the last bit of the level cleared up. So you could go around, refight stuff. I think first thing we want to do is rework this room a bit. How do we want to rework it? How should we rework it? I'm thinking. Maybe. Okay, hold on. Cool idea. Let's put a Gunther right here, behind the door, so that way once Ghost Mode is cleared up, then you gotta deal with this guy. Maybe even a Cuboid or something? Because right now, the problem with this room is that... I'll put it into practice by showing you guys. So, you see that there's a locked door, you can't get through it because you're not in Ghost Mode. You'll go out here, probably clean up all the enemies. Like, okay, yada yada, that was easy. Go in here, maybe like a little joke jump scare happens. And you're like, okay, that was interesting, let me go in here. And then you see that this guy's chasing you. He comes running out of the painting. Oh, shit. And now there's a Gunther there. I did slow down a little bit, because I still need to fix that door bug. Let me just try that one more time. Ah, get out of my way! Yeah, okay. So you see the Gunther, and you immediately are like, okay, let me sidestep a little bit, and then he comes running out of the painting. That's a really fun surprise. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, just that one little change made that section much better. Okay, nice. Alright. Let's go ahead and fix this door problem. So, for some reason, enemies can see you through doors. And that's not good. And if we go to the door, and we look at it, well, you can see that the reason is that it doesn't have collision. But if we set it to block all collision, then you'll notice that enemies can't attack us through it anymore, but you'll also notice that, say, Slapmo here gets blocked off by what was left of the door. And the problem I've been having is actually getting it so that it works. Like, I set the paper sprite to have no collision, like no collision at all. Let's say query only, and it destroys itself. And it still will collide with things. That's the problem we're having. It's like, if we go up here, it still likes to exist as, like, it still has collision in some shape or form, even though the collision has been turned off, and it's deleted itself. I don't know what the deal is. Let's try this. Let's set location. Let's set world location of ourself, and let's get world location of the scene root. There we go. And let's split the struct pin here, and let's split the struct pin here. And let's just subtract, just do boom, boom, boom. And set that to like minus like 2,000 or something, like 10,000. So we just send it down into the abyss. What about that? Does that fix it? That'd be really stupid if this fixed it. I would be happy that this fixed it, but I'd also be pleased. Okay, no. So this is the problem. It still exists. It still, for some reason, thinks that this door exists, even though it does not exist. Why do you do this to me? Like, it doesn't. It's not real. It's not real. There's no door. The door does not exist. Okay, what if, hear me out, because right now I think what this will happen is that it will just it'll keep the sprite around, yeah? Okay, so what if we set collision enabled on also this box? Maybe that's it, because I didn't have that, if it was just because I didn't have that box also set to not have collision, I'm going to be so pissed. Nope. Okay. It is the sprite. It is the sprite for some reason. I'm dying. I'm dead. Have an entire level of bouncers, please. I don't think that would be very fun. Ghost store. It is a ghost store. Why is this doing this to me? Level only bouncers would be a good credits level. Yay, Snazzy Raspberry. How's it hanging? Says use visual script confirmed. This is not a new thing. This has been well known for 4 months. I do not try to hide it. But I can give you a quick recap about what's been going on here. So this is Solemn Slalom. It is a ghost-themed world, so you can see there's like a nice little bit of snow. It is a haunted ski lodge. That's the theme. That's our aesthetic. So it starts out fairly normal with a lot of the returning enemies you got to deal with, but then you activate some certain triggers and it goes into ghost mode. It'll take these nice paintings and make them look all evil and stuff. And it continues as per the usual here. Then we'll have another ghost mode trigger here. And then you'll see one of the new ghost enemies show up, who only appears behind like those paintings and stuff, where he only shows up during this ghost mode. And he's got a big bomb in his mouth, it'll blow up, and he gets tired. And then we head outside one more time, scale up this fallen tree to get through another part of the building. Then we encounter our second ghost enemy, who's basically a weeping angel, where she goes really fast if you're not looking at her. Oh yeah, so she did get stuck on the door there. Yeah, the doors are jank. We have to fix those. But that's a little glimpse at the current state of the first level of the world. Now you're all caught up to speed as to what we've been doing over here. Okay, so back to fixing these gosh darn doors. So it has no collision. Like, there's no collision that it has anymore. It's set to none. And for some reason, the paper sprite is still trying to collide with things. And the problem is if I turn the collision off, then enemies can shoot through it, which is a problem. So what if we keep the collision, and then we just set this to invisible? Set visibility. Visibility's false. Is the brain explosion not an insta-kill? Not anymore. It used to be, but it ended up being a bit annoying. Because the way I had to balance the brain explosion is that it would, Can you shoot me through this? You can. Can you go through this, Slapmo? Please, please, please. No! Why? Why? Why does it work like this? Why does it do this to me? Like, if I move it up here, he's gonna get stuck in the same... He's gonna get stuck there now, right? God, why does it do this? This is so stupid. Oh, well, he got blasted. Don't hit Slapmo. I need him alive. Okay, can you go through here, please? Anyways, the way that the exploding guys work, the brain explosion works, is that if I make it an insta-kill, it kind of has to take a while, and that means that they can't really be super aggressive. Whereas if I make them faster, as in like they are, it goes faster but does damage, or only does 1 damage, they can be faster, therefore more aggressive, and I think a lot more fun to deal with. Any more arena levels? Not yet. Usually, I think those are going to be one of the last things I do for a world now, once I've got a really good idea of all the fun challenges I can do with it. Now you're recapped. Welcome back. Oh, thanks for hanging out tonight, Anster. I appreciate you. Okay, so we need to figure out what's causing this. For some reason, he's acting as if there's collision there, even though there is no collision there. Because if we set the collision on this to no collision, then he should be able to get through it like just fine, right? Like if we do that, then he can get through. I think he got blown up. Yeah, he keeps getting blown up. Okay, follow me. Yeah, so if there's no collision in the first place, like if I don't have it, if it doesn't have collision at the start, then it's okay. But if I set collision later, then it's a problem. But if I set collision, but if I set it like this, then it doesn't work also. Yeah, because then he can still shoot through it for some reason. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know why it's doing any of this. It says it's got collision. It says no collision. It says no visibility. But it still acts like it has collision, but it doesn't have collision. What if it's ignore only pawn? What about that? Okay, I'm not getting shot. And then let's get you over here. Alright, we fixed it! Ho ho! Let's go! Who's that guy in the... Oh yeah! This is Gork. He doesn't do anything. He's just here for atmosphere. These guys just hang out. I'm gonna give him like different little outfits and stuff. Have made an arena for Windmill Casino? Not yet. I've not yet done the casino arena. And that is happened for a good reason. I believe I mentioned, not definitely mentioned, that Windmillionaire is going to get a rework. Primarily, I think stages 1 and 2 need it. The windmill level itself, I think, is in a pretty good spot for the most part. Just needs maybe a couple of small tweaks here and there. But yes, as I was saying, that world is going to get some changes, so I don't really want to start working on something like an arena level until I've fine-tuned some of the other stuff. Or rather, I've fine-tuned the world itself, functionally. I do think maybe one change I might want to make. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. And I think the solution might be pretty easy. Just to make Bouncer and Slapmo a little bit more fun to deal with. If I go to their character movement, I might want to give them slightly less friction. I think less friction or more friction. Yeah. Gotta go? Oh, thanks for stopping in, Snazzy. Any updates on the music of the game? I do have the next track pretty much ready. You know what? I could even just play that in the background for the next little bit, so you guys can hear it. Shut up, Fatal Fury. But it's nothing too complicated. I think I'm going to pretty soon try to upload the songs on YouTube, because I've been talking about doing that and I just haven't done it for a while. But let me get the beach level theme. Make sure it's not too loud, because it's kind of loud. Is it loading? There we go. Nope, that's not it. That's the old one. That's the old one. We had like a weird sound that I didn't really like too much in it. This is probably the correct one, I think. Probably? Nope, that's still the wrong one. Okay. Where's the right one? Oh, there's the right one. I'm stupid. Okay, so we do this. Then we turn it down a little. That is super loud. Holy cow. There we go. So now you guys can hear the song. It's pretty similar to how it was last time, but there have been some tweaks. Okay, anyways, Bouncer changes. Let's give him a ground friction of 3. Yeah, okay, so he's got a little bit less friction now. I think that actually makes a pretty good improvement already. Man, I love how prominent the drums are in this track. He did a very good job with it. Yeah, I think that makes him a little more fun to fight. He just feels like heavier, you know. Which I think works. Now Slapmo I think will need to be a little bit different. A little bit different. Oh, I like this part a lot. Got this little solo in there. Let's see, maybe if we give Slapmo the opposite, where he has even tighter cornering, that might make him even a little bit more fun and more distinctive. Because I think those two still feel a little bit too similar right now. Yeah, okay. I think that works. Let's give it a full level run through. It feels fatter? Yeah, it does. It does feel fatter. The song bangs, I'm gonna blow up a post. Don't blow up a post office! Song hits. Alright, I'm glad you guys are liking it. I'll pass the kind words on to the composer. I'm sure he'll be pleased. He'll be cheesed. Oh, that was awesome. Ball Bastard was one of my greatest accomplishments. He is very fun. I like him. Oh, nope, it's that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Pew. Pew. Ooh, should I make it so that if you shoot Batman, if you shoot Bat Bastard with one of these, can he just like reflect it back at you? That'd be funny. Oh, but that'd be so annoying. But it would be really funny though. I'll have to deliberate. Oop, that's a bad time to release the boost. Okay, I think this is going pretty good. Let's loop that one more time. Let that shit rock. Okay, let's give this level one more run through. Yeah, well, that was a... I'm even whiffing my shots with that detonator. That is impressive. Hey, he actually managed to get after me. That's pretty good. One thing I want to try, actually, one rework to this room. So you can see that I've got a Gunther here. And I think that does help. But what if I put a cuboid there instead? Because a cuboid takes up the whole hallway. You can't really run past him, and more importantly, you can't kill him in one shot. So I think that'll maybe even force a little bit more of an interesting interaction with him there. We'll see, we'll see. I'm so bad at getting this weapon. There we go. That's definitely going to be the fastest way to do that section. I might even save that to my my quick switch. And then, yeah. Also going to try to be setting our potent and voltaic speedrun times for this stage. Press the wrong button there. Even I am not infallible to fumbling with the controls. Oh, I didn't even activate ghost mode. No! No, the run! No! Oh god, I just pushed him through the door. Okay, let's adjust you a little bit, buddy. Let's maybe put you, like, push the door really close up, and then push this guy really close up here, too. And just so we don't have to replay the whole level every time we want to test this one section, let's just restart ourselves here for now. Then we go here, hit the ghost mode trigger. Yeah, okay, it forces you to loop around him at least once. Even if you have the fast strat, you're gonna have to at least loop around him one time. Which I think makes that more fun. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. How do you decide a voltaic plus time? Time for the second level. Second level is probably gonna be a next week thing, because I need to worry right now about getting this level done. Because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the second level done in time for this weekend, or for this weekend's build. So I think it's more important to focus on getting the content that's planned for the Patreon build up. And 2 levels would be good to have, but if it's not ready, it's not ready, and it'll come with a nice host of other changes too. Turn you down. Oh. Okay. Anyways, the question was, how do you decide a voltaic plus time? So what I do to determine all of the times really is I will play with some sort of a handicap, where I'm trying to actively use my stuff, but I will be at some kind of disadvantage, like maybe the sensitivity's too high, or I'm playing with a controller. Basically, whatever I feel will sufficiently make it harder for me to play. And if me just like following the regular routes of the run, basically, oh shit, I made my window smaller. Basically, whatever I feel that will make the nope, shit. Yeah, there we go. What was I saying? Yeah. But I'll determine a potent time basically just by doing whatever feels about okay-ish. And then I will do the Voltaic by playing through it really fast and like trying to find deliberately like kind of difficult, good speedrun routes, and then seeing where those take me. And then cutting the time down a couple seconds beyond that, so that way players aren't expected to be playing at like peak performance just to accomplish it, right? Alright, uno momento. Just need to check something real quick. Okay. No, we're good. We're good. Gotta go? Well, thanks for stopping in, Ozzy. Appreciate you. Good timing. I think we're about winding down for the evening here. My voice is getting quite hoarse, as it were. I do think streaming a little earlier in the day tends to be a good call, because everyone starts dying around 7 p.m. Okay, cool. I think she still needs some minor changes, but I think this level's in a pretty good spot. Probably just needs a little bit more polish. Still need to add the logo there to the side of the building for sure. Gotta add the memorabilia in for this world for the build. Quite a lot of stuff left to do. But for now, I think it's in a pretty good spot. Quite happy with it. Good progress tonight. Got this level in a really good, fun state. So yeah, alright, I think that'll do us for today. Yeah, see you guys next week, hopefully. Check out the build if you want. T-shirts coming soon, new video coming on Friday, I hope.